So, as we all know, last night, or rather, this morning, Carti dropped Music, a 30-track album. Of course, he went 30 for 30, but it doesn't stop there. Not only did he upload bonus tracks to his SoundCloud, but there's also talk of a possible deluxe edition. I mean, don't even get me started on last night. At first, we all thought Carti was going to drop the album at midnight Eastern Time, which would have been 4 a.m. my time. I was so exhausted, waiting for it to drop, but then, just before midnight, DJ Academics let us know that Carti had pranked us. The album was actually going to drop at midnight PST, which meant another 3 hours of waiting. People were not happy. The whole world was watching, millions of us already staying up late. And now Carti changes the time? And trust me, that was only the start of it. Things got even more chaotic after that. So, after we got the time zone mix-up sorted, we thought it was no big deal. Just another 3 hours, right? But when the clock finally hit midnight PST, the album still didn't drop. The timeline started to go wild. People were seriously frustrated, saying things like, "I'm done with Carti," and even joking about what Carti's fans must feel like. Some of the threats and tweets were insane. I'll show a few on screen, but I'll probably have to blur them out. People were heated. At this point, we all thought Carti had pulled a fast one again. He'd missed both the 12 a.m. Eastern Time and now the 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's LA time, for those who aren't familiar. So, here we were, sitting around like fools, just refreshing Spotify every few minutes, only to see the track For Blixky with Lato still up there. By the time this all went down, it was already like 6 or 7 a.m. for me. At that point, I was basically drifting in and out of consciousness. I was watching DJ Academics and Kai. Since Kai was on the phone with Carti, he was deeming Carti, and Carti was actually typing. Kai would freak out and be like, "Oh my god, he's typing. He's typing." Then Carti would stop, and the whole cycle just repeated itself for like 30 minutes. Eventually, Carti would text things like, "Any second now. Any minute now." This was around 6 a.m., but the album didn't actually drop until 11 a.m. for me. Carti kept saying the same thing over and over, "Any second now. Any minute now." Even Filthy tweeted about it. We also got this really bad cover art of some guy in a hoodie, which was honestly pretty awful. But, yeah, the album still didn't drop for another 4 hours. Carti kept texting and calling Kai and DJ Academics, giving us a bunch of different excuses for the delay. Apparently, the cover art had to be changed because it got leaked, and then Carti mentioned something about sample clearances. All I remember is Carti saying, "Any moment now, any second now." Yeah, right. We were sitting there for hours, but eventually, in the early morning, it finally dropped. At that point, everyone was just super frustrated, but as soon as it hit streaming, we all forgot about the frustration and went straight to the play button for track 1. And, honestly, I'd been waiting so long just to hear the first track. Did he pop out? But before we dive into that, let me give a quick intro to the album. So, Our Music dropped with 30 tracks, which is honestly insane. 30 tracks. I mean, are you kidding me? 2 or 3 of them were older songs, like Hood by Air, Ketamine, and Evil Jordan. The album features big names like Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, Future, Lil Uzi Vert, Young Thug, and Ty Dolla $ign. I think that's everyone. But yeah, it was pretty wild. Honestly, I thought the album was great, though there were a few weak points. The highs were definitely high. Let me pull up Spotify. Crush was solid. Mojo Jojo with Kendrick was awesome. Philly with The Weeknd was amazing. Fine Shit, Backdoor, Toxic, Crank, Good Credit, I See You Boy, Wake Up Filthy, Jump In Trim. I could keep going. The album is stacked, no doubt. Wheezy had some crazy beats on there. A lot of these tracks are community favorites. Mojo Jojo, Young Vamp Love, Uh-Oh, Cactus, Crush, these are all gems he previewed or played at Rolling Loud. He definitely gave us what we wanted, with a mix of community grails and new songs, all packed into 30 tracks. Plus, he even included some of the Instagram songs. But here's where things get a little rough. There were some really obnoxious sounds on certain tracks, like Hood by Air. I'm not a producer, but I think they're called hi-hats or claps. Basically, this really loud, ticking sound that felt completely unnecessary. I don't know why they added that to Hood by Air, and it showed up on a few other tracks too. And then, the intro track pop out. I just didn't think it should have been the opener. It didn't feel right. I think something like the Drugs Got Me Numb snippet would have been a much better way to kick things off. So, about the drugs, let me just play a quick 2-second snippet. I can't play too much, though, because Interscope will take down my channel. But pop out. Honestly, it was a terrible intro. I love Carti. Don't get me wrong. I'm all in on the album. He went 30 for 30, but that track should not have been the intro, and I don't even think it should have made the album at all. Then there's the intro for Evil Jordan. It's basically just a 1-minute TikTok clip, straight from TikTok, and the gunshot sound effect transition is just awful. Evil Jordan itself is cool, but the intro feels a bit off. Honestly, though, I thought the timeline was about 80% positive, but there was definitely some hate. A lot of people were saying, we waited 5 years for this. Like, come on, people, shut up. The album is 30 for 30. Carti nailed it. Sure, it's a little bloated, but he delivered. I was telling my friend earlier, yeah, it's 30 tracks, so not every single track is going to blow your mind, and not everything will fit your exact taste. There will be misses, but Carti came through. He gave us amazing tracks and collabs with artists I never thought we'd see Carti with. Kendrick Lamar, The Weeknd, Travis Scott. Carti's feeding us. Yeah, there were a couple of misses, but I don't think people should be calling it trash. It's definitely bloated, though, and it feels more like a mixtape because the track list is all over the place. There's no real order or emotion. It's just a big collection of music. Still, I think it's awesome. Was it worth a 5-year wait? Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't really want to dwell on it. It was a crazy journey, full of highs and lows. We had Whole Lotta Red, Molly World, Narcissist, and then, I'm not even sure what came after Narcissist. I think after that, it was just IR music. But yeah, it was a long wait, but we made it, and we got the album, and I think it's great. But enough of me rambling about that. Let me actually dive into the title and thumbnail of this video, which is about the deluxe edition. So, after all the delays, and once the album finally dropped, we noticed that on SoundCloud, there were different versions of some songs. There were even 3 additional tracks that were still processing. First off, we got this I See You Master Fix, which is probably just I See You Baby Boy with a better mix because a lot of the songs were getting fixed up after the initial album release. Then there's track 16, Rich Kids, which is apparently a song featuring Wheezy. It actually samples a track by the group Rich Kids, called Bent Over, so that's likely what that track is. One track that doesn't really make sense is Off Drugs, because I can't seem to find it anywhere on the album. This led a lot of fans to believe it might actually be Drugs Got Me Numb, a community grail. People think Carti might have tried to add it to the album after it dropped, especially considering the album was delayed this morning due to sample clearances. Now, fans are speculating that Carti was trying to get Drugs Got Me Numb on the album, but it didn't happen, probably due to clearance issues. The track is still being processed on his SoundCloud, so who knows if it'll be finished or just shelved. Then, Swamp Izzo himself teased the possibility of a deluxe for IR Music. He posted on his stories saying, "Thank you, Playboi Carti. I'll be waiting for the deluxe." Now, at first, I was like, deluxe? Bro, you just dropped 30 songs. You basically already gave us a deluxe. Most albums have like 20 tracks, and you dropped 30. That's wild. But a lot of fans are saying that some key community grails didn't make it onto the album. Let me show you this tweet from Double O Archive. It listed some IR Music era tracks that didn't make the final cut, like F on My DJ, What's My FN Name, She Don't Leave Me, Different Day 2024, Homicide 555, Drugs Got Me Numb, Backrooms, Problem Child, Vitamins, Jeans, and Killers. The tweet also asked, what songs would you like to see on the deluxe? Personally, I think Drugs Got Me Numb is the track we need. Carti also mentioned on his Boner Instagram that is putting out the video for Rather Lie, and that it's probably already recorded with The Weeknd, ready to be released soon because that track is definitely going to hit number one. On top of that, this tweet from Unseen Opium had fans wondering if we might actually get a deluxe for IR Music, especially with features from artists like Justin Bieber, Ken Carson, Detroit Lonely, Lil Wayne, and more. Fans in the replies were all about tracks like F on My DJ and What's My FN Name. But then Swamp Izzo doubled down, teasing the deluxe again, posting on his story, "Thank you, Playboi Carti. I'll be waiting for the deluxe." Again, I'm thinking, deluxe? You just gave us 30 tracks. Most albums don't even drop that many songs, and here we are with 30 already. Still, fans were asking for those community grails. Unseen Opium had another tweet, saying, "Could we expect a deluxe for Playboi Carti's music?" They pointed out that we're still missing big features like Justin Bieber, Ken Carson, Detroit Lonely, and Lil Wayne. Replies came in saying things like F on My DJ and Drugs Got Me Numb, or even Meta and Rockstar. Then some people were like, "Yo, chill, it's already 30 tracks, bro." But, honestly, Unseen Opium made a solid point. People are ready for deluxes, vinyls, CD exclusives, and alternate versions. Fans are just ready for it all. Some fans are asking for Drugs Got Me Numb, Meta, Rockstar. Do you? And while some are excited, others are like, "Yo, chill, we already got 30 tracks." But Unseen Obi brings up a good point. People are ready for deluxes, vinyls, CD exclusives, alternate versions, you name it. Fans are just hyped for more. I mean, look at Yate. He dropped like 3 versions of 2093, the digital version, then a deluxe on Spotify. Same with Destroy Lonely, who released several deluxe versions. It's clear these artists use these extra releases to boost album sales. They can sell digital versions of the songs on their websites for additional revenue and then drop them on Spotify to rack up more streams and push album sales. Now, if you think about Carti's past, he's no stranger to dropping additional content. Remember Christmas Day when he released Whole Lotta Red? It didn't exactly get the best reception. It had its hits and misses, but it was trending. The next day, Carti tried to redeem himself by dropping a deluxe version, adding all the Whole Lotta Red V2 leaks, tracks like Cancun, and the Baby Voice songs. He even tweeted, "Talk to me. What songs do you need on the deluxe?" That's when DJ Academics famously replied with songs like SRT, Goku, Cancun, Tattoo, and Hellcat. So, will Carti drop a deluxe for IR Music? Personally, I don't think he will. And here's why. It could mess with his Spotify catalog. When you release a deluxe, it kind of duplicates the album. You can't just add tracks to the original. You have to release it again as a whole new album. I'll show you examples of how Yate and Destroy Lonely did it, but it doesn't always look great for the discography. I don't think Carti would want to mess with that. He might release some songs digitally on his website like The Weeknd did. Though remember, The Weeknd sold exclusive songs on his website, and they turned out to be solo tracks. Maybe Carti will do something similar, or bundle new tracks with vinyl or merch, but I don't think we need a full deluxe. That said, if the deluxe features cool collaborations, maybe with Justin Bieber, Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely, or even XXXTentacion, then I'd be down for it. But if it's just more solo tracks, then I think I'm good. However, another track with Uzi? That would be crazy. Our music is already killing it. It's number 1 everywhere, Apple Music, and I'm guessing it'll debut high on the Billboard charts too. The album is just stacked with 30 tracks. I saw on Rap Caviar that Good Credit with Kendrick Lamar is sitting at number 1. Carti's clearly aiming for that number 1 spot, and his label is going to push it hard. Personally, I think they should focus on the song with The Weeknd, though that one has real number 1 potential. But what do you think? Should Carti drop a deluxe or should he just slow down and start working on the next album? Word on the street is he's dropping Baby Boy next, so we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts on music and whether Carti should drop a deluxe. And before I wrap up, I've been grinding hard, dropping 5 videos in the past 24 to 30 hours. I'm tired as hell, but I really appreciate all the support. If you could subscribe, that would help a lot. I'm aiming for 100K subs by the end of the year, although that's a stretch since we're averaging about 3 to 4K subs a month. But hey, if everyone subscribes, we might just hit it. The update videos might slow down soon since Carti's dropped his album, unless he surprises us with another one. After that, I'll focus more on longer documentaries. But anyway, thanks for joining me on this journey. I'm out here talking too much, but I'll catch you in the next one.